Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today has been a video that I've been meaning to give you for several months now, and I've actually had quite a few requests for it, so here we are. This is a walkthrough of the Heart of Dakota Little Hearts for His Glory curriculum, and I saw this earlier this year and thought it was just fabulous, but we had already committed to Abeka. After Abeka started to not work out so much for us, I decided to try this and I'm loving it. I will be putting up very soon a homeschool update, kind of what we're up to in general, but this is going to be a walkthrough of this particular curriculum. I'll give you some opinions on it, obviously, but how everything is working for us will be in a video coming very soon, so stay tuned. But this is an all-in-one curriculum in a way. It's like a unit study, and this is for ages 5 to 7, so it's very fluid. Caleb is our first grader, and I have him in this because the next book, which is called Beyond Little Hearts for His Glory, I felt like it was a little too much, and this is even kind of maybe not enough, but I figured I'd rather, because of how hard Abeka pushed him to the point where school was not fun at all anymore, I wanted to get something that would maybe kind of get us back to having fun again, so I didn't want to push him too hard. But it's split up into units, and each unit, I just happened to turn to the beginning of a new unit. Each unit is up here. So this is 13. So this is 1 week. Each unit is 1 week. And this is unit 13. So week 13, day 1. This is day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. Every week you have, or every day you have reading about history, and it gives you several options that you can use. You can use the Family Time Bible, 101 Favorite Stories, or your own Bible. I tend to use my own Bible, and also this gives you certain scriptures to read. Usually it's a story, and I found that for my kid who will sit and listen to a chapter or more of the Bible at once, I didn't like skipping around, so I was reading full chunks of the Bible to him. And so that's what we do here. But this is reading about history. It'll either be one of these, or every now and then it'll ask you to pull out History for Little Pilgrims. And it's just a very basic little history book with some basic geography, starts at creation, and I don't remember how far this goes. I think this goes all the way to some Texas history. Oh yeah, there's some Texas history. So yeah, anyway, but it all goes back to creation and the fall and the flood and kind of the progression of all of that, and of course why Jesus came to die. So salvation. And so that's every single day. Then this box right over here goes between dramatic play, science discovery, thinking games, and I want to say there's one more. Artistic expression. Did we already do that? Anyway, but there's a different one here, and this would be kind of like dramatic play would be like acting out the story in some sort of way. And it's always fresh and always new stuff that my boys have been loving. Science discovery, you will pull out this book. It's called The World God Made. This is a really nice little very beginner science book. Like I said, I feel like Caleb can do more than this, so I have been allowing him to do more than just this little book, but this is something to get started with. But it's crafts, it's art, it's acting things out, it's playing games, all sorts of things are in this box right here. Up here you have rhymes in motion, and it will always refer you to the appendix in the back. And there's all of these different rhymes about whatever it is that you learned about here. By the way, also, all of this is going to come from this Bible story. So your science discovery, your rhyme, your Bible study for the day, sometimes the music is going to go back to the story you did here. So it's all tied together. But the rhymes in motion here, they're little songs that you can do with motions, and my boys love it. They just love it. It's really fun. Brayden doesn't get into it as much as Caleb does, but it's been a fun thing just to remember. Oh, remember that story about Jericho? And you go back to your little rhyme. So it's a lot of fun, especially because kids need to be moving a lot. Here at Bible study is where you're basically doing a new verse every week, and it gives ideas of ways to memorize it, and it's pretty much the same every week with every different verse. And the music that goes with it is from Steve Green's Hide 'Em in Your Heart. And I grew up on these, so I know all of these songs anyway, and I actually learned a lot of my verses this way. So it has a new verse every single week. Fine motor skills, this is basically handwriting, and all of this, you can use their materials, but for fine motor skills, phonics, and math, they suggest curriculum for that, but you use whatever it is that you want, because these handwriting, phonics, and math are so personal to each kid. This really allows you to do kind of whatever works for them. So fine motor skills, we use Abeka for this, but they recommend Reason for Handwriting. They read, for phonics, they recommend, I guess Reading Made Easy. I don't really look at this much. They do recommend for math, Singapore Math. I've never even seen a Singapore math book, but we use our own for that, and some more info on that will be coming in my full homeschool update. This right here, story time, we have been loving this. We are currently in our third read aloud. We actually get ahead of things, and I will talk about that in my update. But the first book that we did was The Adventures of Reddy Fox. Then we did The Adventures of Peter Cottontail, and we are now in The Adventures of Danny Meadow Mouse. And I just happened to open to this. I think this is Unit 13. I think we are in Unit 11 now. And the chapters are super short, as you can see, but we tend to do sometimes 2 or more chapters in a day, and that's what works for us. But you don't just read it. It asks you to do a little activity here, and there are comprehension questions. And these books are by Thomas Burgess. I want to say Burgess. They're the Burgess novels. There's a bunch of them, and they're really sweet. They're all about animals, little stories about these animal characters, and we've been absolutely loving them. And when a kid asks you to read one more chapter, I mean, what is better than that? It's just great. The books are, I believe, 104 years old. I think they were written they're written in the 19 teens. Danny Meadow Mouse was written in 1914, so they're 104 years old. So some tradition behind those. But as you can see, it goes all the way. You go through a bunch of different history, a bunch of different memory verses. And then once you get to the back, there's the appendix. And let's get to the appendix. Here we are. And this gives you some curriculum suggestions. And it just tells you if you're using, for kindergarten, you can use The World God Made, or using Our Father's World. I can't talk. For first grade, if you're doing it for second grade, you can use these. So just kind of some supplements here. Another thing, let me go back. This is for math. If you're using different math schedule, you can go with that. I am not following that. This is another thing that we haven't done yet, because I feel like we've had enough books at our house that relate to what we're talking about. But once we get into more of like the American history and further, I think we'll be checking more books out. But how cool is this? It gives you each week, these are books that are recommended that you get from the library or wherever you get books from. And so I think that's really cool that somebody's already said, well, here's some books that will go along with what you were learning this week, and the work is already done. And let me tell you, if you join the Heart of Dakota Facebook groups, Oh my goodness, all of the files that some of these women have worked on, they have done the work for you. And I'm so glad someone has even, it's in one of my folders somewhere, someone has even written down each lesson or each unit, what is the corresponding Magic School Bus lesson? I mean, are you kidding me? That is awesome. We love Magic School Bus. And so if you can find an episode that will have to do with what you learned that day or that week, it's already been done. And some printables some women have come up with is just amazing. So if you are someone who is looking to have a structured homeschool, but not too much structure, not school at home. We kind of went from one end to the other end of the spectrum, went from super structured Abeka to Little Hearts for His Glory from Heart of Dakota, or and we do use still some Abeka, and that will be coming in my update. But this just, all of the plans are all ready to go, and you take it at your own speed. And that's the beauty of the freedom of homeschool. You can do whatever you want, whatever your kid needs. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. And of course, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I will link my entire homeschool playlist in the description box below, where I have a lot of videos if you wanted to check those out. If you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments section below. I would love to see if I can answer any of those questions. I will do my best, but I will put all the appropriate links in the description as well. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.